welcome to our Copilot training. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. For those who do not know me yet, my name is Michiel Ridder. I'm a business development manager for Microsoft here at Arrow. And today is our first session of our Copilot webinar series with 5 specific trainings on how you can use Microsoft Copilot to help your organization to innovate, also to help you to become more efficient in your daily task with this great personal assistant. Now, today's session will all be about how you can use Copilot to help to in the context of an SMB. So what we're going to do today is showcase you different cases for Copilot within the context of an SMB. Now, before we do that, I would like to maybe quickly introduce Arrow to you. Maybe you have heard of us, maybe you haven't. So to quickly introduce Arrow, we are a global technology player, and our mission is quite simple. It is essentially to make technology or the benefits of technology as accessible as possible. How do we do that? Well, we do that by working together with technology giants like Microsoft, Google, Broadcom, and so on, as well as with local IT partners. Probably your own IT partner already works with us in some capacity, and we work together to help you to use technology to help you use technology to accelerate innovation within your organization, and also to help you address key business issues that you have on a personal level or maybe on an organizational level. And so this is also the reason why, for example, we are hosting these trainings, because obviously many people are still wondering what AI can do for them, and more specifically, how they could, for example, use Copilot to again leverage the possibilities with AI for themselves or within their own organization. So our learning part for today, again, we will cover or discover many different SMB cases that exist for Copilot, and we'll of course end up with some practical tips and tricks that you can use to start within your own organization, and again, so you can start using Copilot yourself as well. Luckily, I don't have to do this alone today. For that, I have invited my favorite trainer, Copilot trainer, that's Vincent Klaes. We've been working with Vincent for quite some time, and Vincent really knows Copilot through and through. And so what Vincent will do today is, of course, inspire us with some practical cases that really work, and that can help you or your SMB to again work more. Become more productive in your daily tasks, but also in your business processes. So he will explain showcase some cases on how you can do that. Now, before I give the word to Vincent, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself, and then obviously we will try to answer them during this session. If we were unable to answer your question during this call, we will still get back to you with the answer after the session. So with that being said, Vincent, the stage is yours.
Yes, hello, everybody. Hears me correctly?
Yes.
Normally they should. Yes, all right, perfect. So if you again can just spotlight me, Michiel, then we are ready to go.
Done.
Voila, so normally everybody should see me now in big. That's amazing, right? So welcome from my end as well. As Michiel said, today the focus is M365 Copilot. So let's immediately dive in, right? So first of all, I have here a whiteboard next to me, right? So I'm gonna just, the first 10 minutes, we're gonna walk through it, and then we're gonna go into demo mode. So focus of today, right? M365 Copilot, so the paying version, because you also have the chat, which is the free version. And then you can as well build agents. But those are like 3 topics that we divided, and we're going to tackle them. So the chat is going to be tackled next 2 weeks, and then agents is going to be tackled into March. So let's immediately dive in, right? First of all, to get everybody's attention here, if you already followed one of my workshops, I always ask it, which AI tools do you use on a regular basis? So if you can just put that in the chat, then I can just like use it in my story a little bit to compare it to see which are like the most biggest ones. So I see Copilot. Ooh, amazing. That's a lot of Copilot. Yes, there it is. I was looking for that one, right? ChatGPT. So that's the usual suspect that we all know, right? Let me scroll down. All right, there is also the ChatGPT Personal. That's good. So Gemini, that's also one that is coming back a lot. That's good. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot. All right, let's move on. If you still have something, just put it in, but we'll move on. First of all, we need to explain. Most of you are already using Copilot. What is Microsoft 365 Copilot, right? So it is, you have access to, wait, just gonna change my color. So you have obviously access to Copilot Chat, right? So that's the free version. That if you have a Copilot license, right, Copilot Chat is included. Second of all, there are IT, administration, the admin center where they can set up policies and everything. And then 3, you can also build agents. Now, today we will not focus on agents. That will be for next month. So let's first focus on today's M365 Copilot. Now, most importantly here, if you compare it with ChatGPT, Gemini that I see here, there's also Claude, there is Grok, right? So there are a lot of other tools. The most important thing is why you should use Microsoft 365 Copilot when you're in a business environment is that everything is protected by enterprise data protection, right? So if you log in with your business account, that's also really important, log in with your business account, you should see this green shield right on top. I will showcase it in a minute as well, of course. That shows you that enterprise data protection is on, meaning every policy that Microsoft adheres to is enabled for you, or extra ones that your IT company has set up is active. Okay. Now, if you compare it with Gemini, ChatGPT, okay, you can have licenses, you can have personal licenses, the free one, whatever. There is always the risk of losing your company data. Why? Because you're putting information in another tool, right? So your IT doesn't have like handhold on it anymore, right? If you add files to it, those files are saved on another server than your server, your Microsoft server. So those are all like really important factors to just stick to it. Like when you are working with M365 Copilot, or when you're working in a business environment, use M365 Copilot. Why? Because this is then the architectural point of view. If you have Copilot here in the middle, I'm the prompter, right? So I ask here something of, okay, what a specific prompt that I want to do. Firstly, what Copilot is doing is going to the work IQ. What's that? That's all your data that you have, all your files, all your chats, all your emails, all your meetings, all your OneDrive files, SharePoint files, everything where you have access to, okay? Then it's based on the prompt, whatever you're asking, it will get those files, get that information, send it back to the LLM, where it then will make an answer, right? Based on, of course, only the things that you have access to, and then push that answer back to me as the prompter with the question and the answer that I just asked. And that, again, is all protected within your Microsoft environment. So your data never leaves your Microsoft tenant, which is super, super important in the IT governance of a company, all right? So that's really what I'm very vocal about, which I'm always like advertising, is if you're working in a business environment, all right, don't use the other tools. I know there are use cases to use a Gemini, to use a Claude, but just stick to M365 Copilot, all right? We will touch upon Claude because Claude can be available in your Microsoft environment, depends on what your IT department has set on, but that's another one. But just if you're using business data, just use Microsoft 365 Copilot. If you have the paying version or even the free version, always use Microsoft for that, all right? Now, second step, now we know a little bit the basics, right, about security. Second step is what is prompting, but that's really like applicable for every LLM tool that you're using, right? Because if you don't insert a good prompt, your reply will probably not be aligned with what you're looking for. So that's why Microsoft has developed or come up with a certain framework. So you have the GCSE framework. What does it mean? Your prompt should have a goal. Your prompt should have context, and your prompt should have a source and expectations. If you build that into your prompt, the probability of having an answer that you're specifically looking for will be higher than just putting in one sentence, I want to summarize this, right? Now, what is exactly your goal? It's more like, what response are you looking for? What do you want from Copilot? Do I want to have a summary? Do I want to have a table, an Excel file, a PDF, a Word, whatever? That's the goal for something that is coming up, for example. You want to give it context. The why do you need it? Because I have a meeting with my manager, because I have a customer meeting, because I have a project deadline coming up, because I have a new recruiter, a new person that starts in my company, so I need this, right? So the full context of it. Then you give it sources, the which, in terms of which information. Do you want to give it meeting transcripts? Do you want to give it emails? Do you want to give it chats that you're having? So that's all in the sources pack that you can add into your prompt. And then the expectation is, how should Copilot react or respond to meet better your expectations? Is do I want to have it again in that Word file? Do I want to have it in a PowerPoint file, a summary, bullet points? So that's all what you need to put in to have really a good prompt accordingly through or to the that framework. Now, there is a prompt agent. Even if you don't have a paying license, that agent is available. So you can always ask in that agent of improving my prompt. But what I mostly do is I just use the Copilot chat immediately and just ask, I want to do this. This is the prompt that I have built. Do I need to improve my prompt, or can you improve my prompt? All right. So that's the most important one. So if you're gonna put it into an example, a small one, a little salesy one, is generate a client-ready summary, right? For a meeting that we have next week with the customer, next week with the CIO. So it knows then it needs to have, right, executive talk. Sources is just the last meetings that we have. So you can really reference that so that it goes to the transcripts, read it, take it into account. And then expectation is, I want to have a consultative tone, plus a PowerPoint, right? Okay, this is now very fastly written, but if you put that into a big prompt, you will have, right, a better answer of what you are looking for. Okay, so that's a bit more about the prompting. Now, because I think mostly I always get questions about agents, like what are agents, right? So an AI agent is just a digital worker that can understand instructions that you're giving and can take actions on those instructions in order to complete certain tasks, right? Again, we're not going to go into too many details here because I can talk about this for hours as well. So let's go immediately, because that was, again, already my last slide. So you see, not even 10 minutes. Let's go now immediately to demo mode. Firstly, I will check in a minute the agent you were talking about from Lynn. The agent you were talking about, is it Prompt Coach? Yes, that is a small agent that you can use to improve your prompts that you have already written, right? It will follow the same framework. So the framework that we talked about here, right? So the goal, context, source, and expectation. It will follow that framework, and then you can have a better, most probably a better answer to what you're looking for, right? So let me now quickly put my screen here because I need that. Cool. So let's immediately dive in. I have the chat here open, so if you have questions, just put them in the chat and I will reply to them if it's if it works. Voila. All right, so the first step, we're gonna have a couple of scenarios that we've prepared. So the first one is a little bit salesy, but you can of course do it in every scenario that you have. You can do it for finance, for HR, procurement, whatever that your role is going from a meeting. And then we're going to use agent mode into Word, because I really want to showcase that, and fill in a price proposal that we have. So to do that, let's go to my Teams, which is here. And I had a meeting with a customer last week about a Copilot project that we want to do there. And we want to do some adoption around it. So I have turned on the facilitator, which is an important factor, because the facilitator turns on automatically the transcription and the video, right? Video recording. And then during your meeting, it will record everything. So it will already give you the decision made, open question, agenda points, meeting notes that we have, and even follow-up tasks. So if you're really in a project meeting, for example, or say you need to do this, you need to do that, it will come into these follow-up tasks, all right? You can even go more into details. If you click here on view the recap, it will pop up here. So you can see that AI summary that is built or that is made by the facilitator, and then the specific notes that you have here. So everything is here, which is great. And I would need that for my proposal that I have. So this is a template, right? A price proposal template. As you can see, overview, objectives, scope of work, pricing, whatever that you want to have in. I have it here with my logo on. So I want to actually fill in my proposal based on the meeting that I had with my customer that I just showed you, all right? So then I open up Copilot. Now, you probably recognize this because this is the interface of Copilot. Now, you can use this to ask questions about the document, right? But it cannot change or edit stuff in the document itself. For that, we need agent mode. It's since a couple of days live in my environment. I don't know if it's yet live in your environment, but they're rolling out. So normally in February, it should be there. So you go to the toolbox, and then you go to agent mode. So I got here a prompt that I have ready. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry for that. So let's copy paste that one in. So I want to fill in this price proposal template with the information from the meeting with Vincent from Quercum. I want to add 2 workshops at €1,000, and I want to add the Copilot framework for €2,000. Now, of course, we need to reference the meeting. So you can either type it, or you can go into, click here the 6 more, and then you can select meetings. I have the Copilot adoption. Was it Copilot? What was it again? I forgot it. Let me see. It was the Copilot project discussion. Yeah, so it was this one, Copilot project discussion. So that's the meeting. It has the transcript now. So I can just ask it to fill it in. Now, in my meeting, we did not discuss pricing, right? So that's not in the transcript. I just put that here in the prompt. So it will take that into account. It will take all the information from the transcript, and then it will put it nicely together in this template as I've asked it's doing. So you see it now live building up the document with exactly what we have discussed. So a little overview, some objectives, scope of work, and then here it will add, as you can see, the pricing for the 2 workshops that I've asked here, and then the Copilot framework for €2,000. It's adding as well. So as you can see, the timeline is still a bit high level because we didn't really discuss it in detail, but I had a phone call with Vincent and we discussed the following timeline, right? So the kickoff date is going to be 2 weeks from today, delivery 4 weeks after that, and the wrap up and reporting a week after that date. So what it will do now is extract the date of today, and it will then calculate whatever the 2 weeks is. So as you can see, we are February 6th. At 2 weeks is February 20th. And it will deliver then 4 weeks after that, March 19th, the rest, the delivery. And then March 26th is the wrap up. So as you can see here, it really is very powerful because you also have this available in Excel, not yet in PowerPoint or not yet in my environment, of course. And this can then be used to send to your customer, right? That is the first little demo that I want to do, because we have also in Outlook, I deleted that meeting now, but that's not a problem. What I can do here is also prepare for meetings, right? So if you have a meeting that is coming up, so this one after today, I have one with Michiel, where we are going to discuss certain things, because because it knows here it's Michiel, so it goes through my chat, it goes through my Outlook, it goes through everything that it has. It will give me here some more information, give me the references of where it got from, and I can prepare even more for the meeting that is coming up. And if I would have sent this this proposal already to my customer, it will help me again preparing for the meeting that is coming up. And then, of course, if you are sending out a meeting yourself, let's say here, test meeting, I want to send it to Vincent again at Quercum. Then if you have sent it out, Copilot project discussion, here you can see that facilitator is off for the meeting. But if you want to have it on so that you don't need to think about, okay, I want to transcribe it, need to record it. If you just turn it on, it will automatically start recording and transcribing when somebody opens up the meeting. All right. So here you can then draft the agenda as well. So again, I asked it, or the title is Copilot project discussion to Vincent. So it will go back into my files, as you can see here, where it will combine. That's really the work of WorkIQ. It will combine all the data files that I have with Vincent that is about a Copilot project discussion. So it will come up with an agenda, right? That you can see here, review Copilot adoption training objectives. Yes, voila. So that's what we have in that proposal that I can then, of course, attach or not if I want to. All right. So then I will just send it out. And then the same one as the meeting that I showed, I can start preparing for it. Again, it will take out all the bits and pieces from chats, mails, whatever I have, documents, and it will show me the prepare for your meeting. So as you can see, review the latest Microsoft Copilot updates, a little bit prepare the Copilot training. So those are all the references then that I can go through it. It also referenced the meeting that I had and the updates around Copilot then, because that's maybe something I want to discuss, right? So that's really helping you prepare better in a faster way for meetings that are upcoming. All right, so that was a bit salesy part, going from meeting transcripts to filled in documents. Again, this is now from, as I said, a meeting transcript. But if you have, for example, an email where you have discussed with the customer a very lengthy email, let's say, which we all know, right, in different languages, you can also reference that one if you have discussed there what you're going to do, or if you want to do updates, you can change files accordingly when it's needed. All right. Voila. So that's the first demo or scenario that I wanted to showcase. The second one is also something that is highly demanded, is an executive daily brief. All right. Let me first go to a question that I see here from Samir. How about extracting from an RFQ the strategic bullet points? Is there some best practices or reflex to prepare it in the prompt? Well, give me 10 minutes and I'm there, because I prepared that specific scenario as well, where we will go through an RFP that's from the Belgian government that I've prepared, right? So just give me a little bit and I will be there, all right? So now, as I said, a question that I have a lot is, I want to prepare my day more efficiently, right? So I want to know what's happening in my day without going through my agenda, without going through all my emails, my Teams messages. So you have a couple of possibilities in Copilot to do that, right? The first one is just having a normal prompt that you want to add here into Copilot. So give me an executive daily brief for this morning, summarize my overnight emails, my today key meetings, tasks I should prioritize today, and any proactive signals I should know, right? So now, because I'm in work mode, as you can see here, it will go through my emails, as I asked, go through my meetings, go through my tasks that I have in Planner, and any proactive signals that I have in whatever files that it can find. So it will probably look a bit now because it needs to go through a couple of files. So I will just click now for demo purposes on get a quick answer. So normally it should go a little bit quicker, which it's voilà, there it is. So this is just an easy executive morning dashboard, as I call it. You can call it whatever you want, right? For February 6th. So every some overnight emails that I got, some today key meetings that I had. So the webinar that is happening now, some meetings that I have after this. And then in the evening, you see the Copilot project discussion that I had as well. And then in the evening, I have my kids, obviously. So some priority tasks that I had in my planner, pre-onboarding one, right? You see it's overdue, demo purposes, right? So some recommended focus of today. So that's really, it gets it out of all my environment. Now, imagine you do like this, but you don't want to do this prompt manually every day. You can schedule this. If you have a Copilot license, you can schedule it by hovering over your prompt. Once you have prompted it once, you click on schedule this prompt, and then you could choose whenever you want to have it. I want to have it at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to have it in the weekend. The limitation here with scheduling this is you can only do it 15 times. So after that, it will not run anymore. So you need to then come manually back and do it like this, right? So if you save it, you will see it here popping up in your scheduled prompts, and then it will run daily for 15 times in the next coming 3 weeks, all right? Just gonna wait a little bit so that I can cancel it. I will do it afterwards. That's no problem. All right. Now another big or another, like not a shortcut, but to increase the adoption of Copilot is when you have a good prompt, share it, right? Save it and share it. So how can you do that? Again, you hover over your prompt, click on save prompt. You can give it a name and then it will have the prompt here, and you can just click on saving it. Now, if you want to go back to those saved prompts, you need to go through the prompt gallery. You click on view prompts here on the right bottom, just above the prompt box. You can see here some prompts from Microsoft, and here on the left toggle, you see your own prompts, and here you can have those that you can share as well, or just click on it, and then they appear here, as you can see in the prompt box. Now, the important one is the sharing one as well, because that executive one could be very interesting. So what I want to do is I want to share it with my colleagues. So then you just click here. Oh, sorry. Then you just click here on the share button, and you can copy the link or share it to a team immediately in a channel. That's also something to increase that adoption, which is very advisable to help your colleagues as well in the increasing of the adoption of Copilot, right? Now, those were two options, right, to do this. Obviously, if you have a Copilot license, if you want to go a bit more into depth and get more context, even more than a normal prompt, you can go into research, right? So the researcher will do, it's really its core to research, right? So it will do a better job at getting everything, sorted out and looked at. So you can copy your prompt here, let it do its work. I'll not do that because I have, it's a lot of work here, or it will run a long time before doing it. So that's a second possibility. Third one is workflows. What are workflows? If you are familiar with Microsoft and you already have used Power Automate, it's actually Power Automate, but made very friendly, right? So you can just prompt whatever you want to do, and it will build it using Power Automate in the backend. It will build whatever you want to do, all right? So I've made here a big prompt. I can share it. Obviously, now I want to mention it as well. After this call, Michiel will share a prompt sheet with all the prompts that I have used today. So you will just be able to copy paste it, so you don't need to rewatch the video for just one prompt. So that will come your way as well, right? So what I've done here, I cannot expand it. I want to have a workflow agent generating an executive daily brief every weekday at 7 o'clock. So this will run autonomously, okay? So every morning at 7 a.m., it will go through your environment, do what I asked it to do, and give you the summary however you want it to have it. So the objective, again, inputs, what to do. I'll just push it already in, then it will start working. So we can go through it here on the left. So I asked it time window, yesterday 5 till today 7 in the night. Go through my calendar, go through my tasks in Planner. So I specifically set it in Planner or to do, and get some signals, etc. So what to do, summarize my emails. If I have emails, group them, give them some priority as well. The same for my meetings and my tasks. And then I give some constraints. That's always necessary to give that, right? To give it constraints, because otherwise it will maybe run in loops, which you don't want to. So that's something. Yes, Amelie? That was a mistake, I think. All right. So give it constraints, right? And then an output format is like an example of an output. That's always something to give, which I prefer as well, because then it will know what to give you, right? Because it cannot read your mind. So that's something, again, that you can do. So now it built my workflow, as you can see here on the right. So my trigger is there. Every morning at 7, it will go through my meals, it will go through my meetings, and it will go through my tasks. Exactly what I asked for. But now what I want is I want to have it delivered into a Teams message, right? So you can just copy paste that here. I want the results. I want the results to be sent by Teams message to me. So again, you can iterate on it, right? So don't go all in like I just did. You can do step by step as well, obviously. So now I just ask it, right, to the result to be sent by Teams. Great, your workflow now deliver. I want to have it in a direct chat with Flowbot. So if I do that, normally it should have, or there should be an extra step coming to send it to me in workflow mode. Voila. So now it's here, as you can see, and we need to save it. Yeah, I'll just do that. I'll just save it because I have one actually already running. So now it just, as you can see, all the green dots here, it will just go through it. It will save it, and then you can test it. So I just want to test it. What it will do now manually, to just say it's 7 a.m. Let's go. So it will do this, and you can see what it's specifically doing. And I will open up my Teams here already, so we can then see when it pops in. So it's now going through my emails. And then my tasks of today, but I'll go here through up and go immediately to my workflows. So this is a reply that I get because I have the same one running already for demo purposes. So once it comes through, yes, there it is. All right. So once it comes through, it should look like this. As you can see, this morning it ran even for 8 minutes. I get this message with today's meetings, again, summary, which I perfectly asked, some tasks that are due. So this is exactly what I wanted to have while this one is running, because as you can see, it can take a while to go, but this is exactly the same. And this is then the output that you will get every morning at 7 or 8 a.m., whatever you wanna choose, right? So in the prompt guide that you will get, I added a shorter one, but it will basically do the same. But I can just copy paste it here in the chat for you guys, so that you can also use this. Yep. Voila. So if you want, because in the previous session somebody wanted the exact prompt, you can use it, you can edit it, whatever you want. If you don't want it to go, or you don't work with Planner, you can just delete that part, and then it will work as well. All right, good. That was the second scenario. I see we have a busy chat. Michiel, you are taking care of that, I think, right?
Of the chat, no worries.
Yeah,
awesome. I'll tell you if there's a particular question I wasn't able to answer.
Great. So then we can move forward to the next one, which is the tender response. So I think it was Samir that was asking it. We will go through that one now. So let's immediately start, right? So let's go back. So now, yeah, it's almost there. So it's testing it. And normally I should see here one popping up in a minute, which I will check later. So let's open up a new chat. Again, maybe to mention it now, this is here the enterprise data protection that you can see, the green shield, which I mentioned in the beginning, which is important. All right, so good. Let's immediately start. So what we have, we received a meeting or an email, sorry, with a full tender in. Well, that should not be copy and pasted in. So what I want to do is analyze the attached tender document. Now I haven't attached it yet. A tip, if you want to reference a file and you know it's an email, just type first email and then reference it, because then it goes immediately into emails. That's if you want to do it with like a little shortcut and type it, or if you just want to do it manually, you can do it as well. Then you click here on add content, add work content, and then you can select whatever you want. So I want to have from Vincent at Werkum. Which one was it? Yes. That's already the answer. Email. Voila. So the invitation to participate in this tender. So I will just link it. The document is there attached. Let me show you the email as well while the prompt is running. From Vincent. All right, so I got here the just look on tender. The tender. So this is the document, as you can see, a big one. If it loads, so this is the email with the question to reply to it. So this is right, the document, the PDF. It will now go through it. So maybe as a short side note, because it's still writing, in the previous session, somebody mentioned that there is not an email incoming, that it should come from a website. Okay, if there is an API available, you can obviously automate that part as well. But for now, demo purposes, I'm showcasing it like that. If you just have the document or manually download it and run it through chat or Copilot, then it's obviously you can do it as well. Cool. So as I asked for a summary, right? Key scope, eligible criteria, deadlines, potential risk, sections required or requiring clarification. So what this tender is, again, the scope, as I asked, it's about Microsoft 365 Copilot, right? So it's about licenses, technical readiness, and adoption, right? So those are the three main parts, and it give you, right, everything that you needed to know with the question that I had. I'm not going to go through it, obviously, into detail, but we all know when there is a tender coming, you probably have specific extra questions, because most of the time it's not complete because something is missing. So that's gonna, or you create them yourself, obviously, or you have them created and you wanted to check. So based on the tender summary, list all unclear points. So I want to have like 8 to 12 clarification questions that I could use. So what is missing? Licenses, the volumes. So we don't know how many, which is pretty useful to know, right? Submission deadline is not mentioned, and a couple of others. Then we have some bigger requirements, some contradictions, some technical clarifications that are needed. So now it really combines all those 3-4 topics and creates some questions that we can then send to the person sending the email. So that's now the next question that I want to do is I want to have it draft an email with, I'm only going to limit it, use the 3 most important questions, right? So it's gonna create now that specifically. All right. It's now in English. If you want to have it in French or in Dutch, translate me into French and Dutch. It will do it for you as well. Right, so here the French version, and then the Dutch version below. So you can choose whatever you want. It's very easily translated to do so, right? So, and now, what I want to do now, or you can work in this screen or in this chat further, or you can start a new chat, right? I got a reply from that person. So what I want to do now is use the tender plus the clarification response and update feasibility risks and everything. So I'm gonna link email tender. That's the invitation, and then email answer. That's the answer that I got on the questions, right? So this, by adding those 2 emails, I will add again the document, the initial document, and then also the replies, and obviously also my questions that I had. So that's running now. So as you can see, you can really be flexible, adding sources, whatever, whatnot. It's a really, really powerful tool to really absorb a lot of information coming in from different data sources. So it will give me a feasibility. If you position yourself strongly on lot 2, all right, so key risks, etc. Exactly what I asked for. Do we have a required partner involvement? Yes or no? But that's the thing. The tool either knows what we are doing or not. So what I have prepared now, I have a document of our company, so what we are doing. So that's again something super important when you're using Copilot, right? Make sure that your data, not your data warehouse, of course, but make sure that your data is properly managed, that it's tagged, that you use metadata. We will come back to that in agents, but just that you have everything in place, that it's clear that you don't have 3-4 different versions of the same document, because then Copilot will start hallucinating, and then your replies will not be what you're looking for, right? So what I have here now is a Word file of a fake company, right? Intellisys Solutions, with all the services and everything that we are doing. So I have described that here, as you can see, our mission statement, core values, service offerings, our teams, like who we have in the company, etc. Right? So I've added that and a prompt, make now an analysis to see if we are fit or no fit per the requirements that are requested, right? Do a gap analysis, some risks that we need to address, whether partnering is recommended or not, right? So now it has all the pieces, then the requirements and our full offering. So now it will do an analysis in a fit or no fit, depending on how I asked it. So for lot 1, right, there is really no fit because we don't do licenses. Pure. Voilà. We are not a CSP partner, so we don't do that. Second lot, pretty okay. We have some assessments. We're doing some technical enablement, so that's really strong. And then for lot 3, adoption and change management, we know our way around that as well, right? So there are some major gaps, which it says risks we really must address. And then if you need to partner or not, it proposes here we need to partner. So it will give me then a heat map style summary table as well, which I asked on the different requirements that we needed from the tender. All right. Then we still can add an extra prompt to like say go or no go, go with a partner, but we actually did that already. So what we want to do now is create a proposal, right? I want to create a proposal based on the tender scope and our standard proposal template. So I have a template here, tender response template, right? And it will use that now to fill everything in. Well, first of all, it uses this template, so it will write it down here so that we can still make changes. So I asked there with an executive summary, proposed solutions, and everything else. It's now building that up according to the template that I've added. Pricing structure, the next steps. But obviously, I'm just one person. I want to check this with the technical team. I want to check this with management if that's okay to go for. So I want to share this file. There are a couple of possibilities. Or you ask, copy paste me this into a Word file, make a PDF out of it, send it into an email, get replies, do it manually yourself. So that's really cumbersome. But what's very collaborative friendly and efficient is edit this one in Pages. So Pages is a collaboration tool where you can share drafts or like here a proposal draft for our tender, where you can add, you can edit whatever you want to do. You can add text, right? And you can then, of course, save it here. Share it here to the colleagues that still need to have input, right? So what I want to do is I want to have the link to the page. So you copy this link, right? So it's now copied. And what I want to do is I want to share it with my colleagues, or you can do it immediately here. Copy the page link with not much context, or you can ask for Copilot. You can just ask to create me a summary message for management plus the technical team, and then you can send that along in an email, or here in the sharing compartment you can also add the text, right? So that's now something that you could add there. If you still need validation or input from the technical team, you can do it like that. I see a question. If you share this file with the different stakeholders of the team, how did you secure the previous version before completion? So version control, you mean, right? Samir? Yes, initial draft. Well, it's always here, right? Here. So you have it always in your chat, right? If you want to have it like that. I don't see a version control here, but that's a good one that I need to check. I think if you have manually, or if you have more people here in editing, you could go into version control, but I'll need to verify that. And I will come back to you, Samir. But you always have it in your chat because you initially talked through it here, obviously. All right. All right, cool. So, and then if you have everybody is given the go, then we can, of course, go back, right, into either here in the chat and ask it to build the proposal, or we can use the agent again, right, and open the proposal agent, which I will look now, then the response template. Because you can come back here into your Word, and since your page is a collaborative page to share, you can link it or reference it as well into your agent mode. So again, we go to agent mode, right? Oh, damn it, it already replaced everything, but okay, I'll do it again. Just have the prompt, create the final proposal, and then you say here pages, and you link it to, it's not doing it, so then we will do it manually. Add work content to here. Well, here you see the tender, so it will now update this proposal tender or this template by giving all the information from the proposal that we have go on from management, from technical people, from everybody that needed to say something about it.
Vincent, can you maybe go
Yes.
back to the initial page? Because normally there is version control. There you have the arrows next to the create button, of course, that you can go to previous
there it is.
versions. So that should
There
be
it
able,
is.
that should allow you to always go back to a previous iteration of that page.
Cool. That's great. Voila. So it's now replying, and yeah, it's a bit of a big page, of course. It's now going through it and adapting what is needed, right? So that's then the workflow. Obviously now we can, of course, you see it's now working. So I will just let it do its job, and then I will ask you in the chat to draft an email to the replier in the 3 languages if we need to, with our final attachment of this template that we are now writing attached. That is always so funny that it does that because it doesn't work. So if I go to my drafts, you see it's not there. So that's it will probably yes, because it's saying it will probably come there, but now it doesn't. So then you just need to ask, type them out. I'm really looking forward to that feature working specifically, because then you don't need to even copy paste it anymore. You can just edit it and immediately in your draft. But like I said, it doesn't work today, and let's hope it will work then in the very near future. Because now it's building, right, what I've specifically asked, the email to the tender. Now, maybe an important one, you can also create immediately from your page, you can also create it into a document, a presentation, or a PDF. So that's also possible, or you link it in the files itself with the right reference to the right documentation. You can do that as well, all right? Voila, so that was the replying to a tender. Are there more or extra questions about this scenario? Nope. All right, then we will move forward, because now, Michiel, I see we still have time enough for me, right, to do the last scenario. Perfect, good. So the next scenario that I have, that I received already a couple of times in questions and everything, is a day in the life of a recruiter, right? We all know that takes research, CV comparison, interview comparison, job description creation, and everything else. So that's something that you could, or that where you save a lot of time in by using Copilot as well. So what we want to do now is we want to start the search for a new colleague, right? And we first want to benchmark a little bit the salaries, right, in Europe. So let's say now we have a senior cloud architect role in Europe. I want to do some benchmarking on it, right? So you can do it in a new chat, or you could do it as well in a researcher. But for now, we'll just use it here. So it's now just going a little bit. All right, so this is, right, the average senior cloud architect. So that's some research that we have done now. All right, so what I want to do is I have a job description now about software engineer. So this is our base file. And then we want to write the attached job description and research as a base, and update it for a mid-level role focusing on cloud architecture, security compliance, etc. So now it will look at this job description, which is something that we have already used in the past, right? But we're going to update it accordingly to our research that we have just done. And it's here. So it will open up now. First, it will download it, right? And then it will open up. And now it's here. So it has now updated the role, right? We agree with it, or we still need to edit it. That's all possible as well. Again, you can make pages out of it, share it again with the hiring manager or whatever. Those are ways to get inputs from a different type of people. So let's say now we do agree with this, okay? What we can do now is compare some CVs because we have dropped it online. So for that, we will open, no, I will just use this chat now for ease of demo. So now what I want to have is a comparison that lists the 4 CVs. So I got a couple of CVs that I received from some people. So I will reference them now. Again, everything needs to be obviously on OneDrive or SharePoint, because otherwise you cannot link it. So I got now 4 CVs that I received. And what I asked now is to create a comparison table that lists those 4 CVs against the job description above. Include columns of candidate name, years of experience, cloud skills, etc. So now it will start comparing, obviously, those CVs as I asked, right? So you see the 4 people, years of experience, cloud skills, etc. Okay. So strongest cloud architecture alignment with those 2, strongest security compliance, right? Most balanced profiles. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to generate some questions, right? I want to help it to prepare me for interviews because we are going to interview Alex and Maria. So now it's gonna go through again, right? Those 2 CVs, compare it with the job description that I asked for. So it's now gonna walk me through some questions that I could ask in my interview with Alex and Maria. All right, so I had this, but now let's maybe open a new chat because what I want to do now is I want to again link the job description and the CV of what was it, Alex? Yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. It was not Maria that we needed, but it was Jordan that we needed. So, well, obviously now for demo I will do it because I have the transcripts as well, and I only have the transcripts for Jordan and the transcripts for Alex. Voila. So those are, right, the transcripts from the meeting. Now it's a Word file, but if you have those meetings done, you can just, right, link it. And I still need to add my prompt now. So what I'm going to ask now is to summarize the key points, right, from these 2 interviews, transcript, and compare them to the job description, highlight strengths, gaps, and overall fit for each candidate. So only for Alex and Jordan against the software engineer job description that we had. So the role baseline, what goods look like, right? So your profile needed, what you're specifically looking for, candidate snapshot from the 2, right, that I've asked, and then the requirements against the job description from those 2 people that we have here, right? Some strengths, gaps, and risks that we have for a couple of those 2 people, Alex and Jordan, and side-by-side verdict. So it's still going strong. Well, so depending on the real need of why we need that person, we can decide or not. But I think this is a lot of input, right? So what I want to do now is, of course, inform the hiring manager, because as a recruiter, most of my work is done, right? I did the first interview, I did a summary. I know now if they're a fit, yes or no, based on interviews and the CVs. So what I'm going to ask now is to draft an email to the hiring manager, John, summarizing the attached interview analysis and recommending next steps. So keep it professional and include a bullet point summary of each candidate. So again, you recognize a little bit the framework, right? The goal, context, sources, and expectations. That's all in this nice prompt. So this is then the summary that I can send as a recruiter to the hiring manager. And now it's again, depending on, of course, your process, but our process here now is to send it to the hiring manager, and then that hiring manager will take action on it or not. All right. Or that we need to schedule then the next interview. And now something that is also included in your Copilot license, and it's even included in the Copilot chat function, is create. Because imagine we have, right, accepted a person, and the first thing that we need is a profile picture, right? Because it's annoying when you're in Teams and nobody has a picture. So in Create, you really can do a lot, right? So you can create images, you can create videos, you can create infographics, you can create stories, right? Posters, banners, so you can really create a lot. So if you go through my images, which you probably will see then on the file that Michiel is going to send, I'm working like with cartoon style way of myself to use it in my marketing that I'm going to do. I create myself, my backgrounds, right? You see here, so you can really build a lot with Create. Now it's specifically cartoons, but if you obviously look into Explore images, you can have, if you have physical products, you can show that as well. If you're doing webinars, you can create banners here for your emails. Let's go to, for example, a banner here. So as you can see, or if you're launching a new service, you can do it. You can add your own brand colors, logos. So that's all what you can do. So now what I want to do is, because I got a picture from that new colleague, right? So what I want to do is I want to upload that picture. Let me see if I find it back. Yes, that beautiful picture of myself, right? So, and I want to edit it because I want to have everybody to have the same background. So what I'm going to do is I want to have it the color, the background, same background color, yellow, let's say. So I can just choose, because this is the yellow of my brand. So it just took out the background, pushed in a new one. You can choose it. So this is, like I said, my background, or you can choose it purely white, or whatever color you want with a hex color code. You can add it. So it's, you don't need to go to Photoshop, which is a bit more difficult than this, right? So you can really be creative. You can create videos, even if you're in HR and you have policies, because if you're being honest, we all know how boring policies are, right? You can create even a video of it that you can then post onto SharePoint site or whatnot. So there are a lot of possibilities that you can do that are out there. All right. So this concludes a little bit my fourth scenario that we have. Do we have questions? Because I have been talking a lot now.
So far, so good, but maybe someone does still have a question about one of the scenarios that Vincent already showcased. I do want to say, for example, on one of the scenarios that you did present, for example, the executive briefing, I've been trying it myself now, and it's a great way to stay up to date with everything that still needs to be done. So I highly advise you to also test it out for yourself within your own environment. Not sure if anyone has tried it during this call, but for me, it's a great way to stay up to date, I would say.
Voila. All right. If not, then maybe we move to the last part, right? That is some closing reflections, okay? Because you have seen a lot. I have go through a lot of prompts. Again, Michiel will send the prompt document to you. So maybe, right, the first one is if you're, because I hope everybody knows it by now, in business, right, it's important to talk security first, right? Because Copilot is in your Microsoft environment, your data never leaves it. It's secured, governed by your IT environment. Second, prompting is not easy, right? It will take time. It's a skill, okay? You don't learn how to ride a bike when if you still remember it. You don't learn that in one go, right? It takes a while, right? If you want to learn something, but the prompting in the beginning for myself, I was really not good at it as well, and it was frustrating. But there are tools now to help you, right? That prompt agent, use it if you need to, or just ask Copilot to refine your prompts depending on what you want to do. Third one is you remain accountable, right? You are accountable. So don't take all the answers that you get from Copilot for granted, because it's still you that is sending the output. If it's for marketing, if it's for HR, for summaries, whatever, you are still in charge, okay? The fourth one is use it wisely. I think that's a bit, yeah, it correlates with you're accountable, but use it wisely. So don't use it for weird stuff, because again, it's still in your Microsoft business environment, okay? And then the last one is stay vigilant, because it's still an AI tool, right? It can still make up stuff. So always check your sources, always go, if you are working on something important, please verify those sources. That's super, super important, right? Then as the last one, what I want to go through is some reflections on, okay, what are we going to do in the future if you're not yet using there, or if you have a team that is starting to use even the free version, it's the same, right? It's important to start with a recurring task. Check what you are doing, and you think, okay, this comes back once a week, maybe every day, like that's right, executive brief. What you then can do is you can try to use Copilot to improve it, right? Try some prompts to improve that task, to make it faster, to make it more efficient, to get better input, better output, depending on what you need to do, all right? Once you are, or you have used it and you've used Copilot to improve, make it more efficient, whatever the specific task is, then share those results. This is so important to increase adoption, is sharing the results. You have a win, share it. You have people in executive and C-level that use it, that are using it in a very proper way. An example, we have a customer, or I'm working together with a big customer, and there the CEO is using already Copilot a lot, and he is sharing now and then his own use cases, and it really helps to improve the adoption in your company, right? And then the last one, which is always important, repeat, because again, it takes time to learn. Okay, it's something new. Prompting is not something that we had in high school or whatever. Give it time, repeat it, and again, maybe that's the last one, save your prompts and share them, because then other colleagues can learn from your good stuff that you have. So that's also an important one to mention. And with that, I don't see any questions. That was it from my part. I really want to thank you for being here. I have here my LinkedIn if you want to connect. I'm sharing some tips and tricks as well the coming time. And if you want to leave some feedback about my workshop, that's also amazing. But we still have Michiel now with some closing remarks as well. But from my end already, thank you very much, and hope to see you maybe in LinkedIn, right?
Super. Thank you, Vincent, for another exciting session and for all the great examples that you and cases that you presented today. So I really want to repeat some of the remarks that Vincent made at the end. The way we need to work with AI is, or using AI within your daily work process is not something that is done. It's not something that is easily done. So I highly recommend you to follow us or to follow Vincent to keep up to date with the latest tips and tricks. So from our end, what we'll still do is provide you all the cases that we showcase you today, but as well some other content that you can use again to better understand how you can use Copilot within your own organization, in your own task, in your own processes, and obviously as well as some other tools that you can use to, for example, understand how you can better prompt. The prompt coach, for example, is a great tool. But one other tool that, for example, that Vincent shared with me was, for example, promptcowboy.ai, a great tool to use as well, but more advised to use when you have not so sensitive prompts. So prompts that do not include any, let's say, sensible data that you want to keep close. Just before I end this session, there are some things I do want to still show you. Hold on, let me switch my screen here. So first of all, the reason why we're doing these webinars is also, the reason why we started with a webinar on SMB cases is because Microsoft recently created a new version on the market on Copilot. It's Copilot Business. It's essentially the same Copilot like Microsoft 365 Copilot, but priced for an SMB. So this is really the same Copilot, but at a much more attractive price. It's something that you really should look into because, again, it makes this great AI assistant more accessible because we know most SMBs usually don't have the same budget like big enterprises. So this is a way for you to be able to get started with Copilot without having to pay too much for it. And what is good to know is that Microsoft has created bundles on this, combined with the Microsoft 365 business licenses. So what you could do is, for example, buy one of these bundles and leverage the promo that currently exists on these bundles, which are available still until the end of March. If you're unsure on what plan you have today, you can reach out to your IT partner, have them reach out to us, or simply reach out to us, and then we check with your IT partner to see what makes sense for you and how you can help you to get access to Microsoft Copilot at the most attractive price possible. Now, good to know again is that this is the first webinar of a 5-part webinar series. So next webinar will be on Copilot Chat, which is the free version of Microsoft Copilot, and you would be pleasantly surprised on how much you can already do with the free version. So make sure to join us. It's Friday, 20th February. We also do a Dutch version of these webinars that will be on the 18th. And then in March, we'll do another session on becoming an agent boss with Copilot Studio and agents, and that will be on the 20th of March. And as mentioned before, we will also get back to you with some handy monthly step-by-step guides on how to use Copilot. So, for example, you will get, Vincent today showcased the case on HR. We have a step-by-step guide on how to implement that, for example, in your own organization. With that said, I would like to thank you all for your time, for taking part in this webinar. And then I do hope to see you in our next webinar. And for the rest, in case you do have questions, you will receive our contact information as well. So you can reach out to us, or if your IT partner wants to reach out to us, you can send that to them. And then the last thing I would like to do, of course, is wish you a pleasant weekend. So see you next time. Thank you so much.